I'm Jimmy Lewis with Dirt Bike Test, and today we're going to talk about what's in my backpack. So this is my Klim Nac Pack, which I've just grabbed. I actually weighed it before doing this. It weighs roughly 10 pounds, and which I feel is kind of heavy, but it is minimized. I'll explain that when I go through it. But one thing I want to talk about before I do this is a lot of time when we're riding, we're always compromised with fuel, and I use this giant loop gas bag, and I'll show you what I do with it real quick. I take it, and I'm able to, it's usually full when I do this. Right now it's empty. I'll slide it down inside here. I'll run the clips up through the straps here, and then it goes like that. And then I use a carabiner up here at the top. So if I'm on a ride and the gas tank is a little bit, not big enough, which happens, then I can just carry around an extra gallon of fuel just like that. So anyways, this is a giant loop fuel bag. They're not cheap, but I use it so much that it's worth the cost. And it's really a fuel bag. It's sturdy and reusable. There's a lot of other sketchy options out there, but this works. So that was something that I do quite a bit. But we'll find out what's inside of this sucker and go from here. So I ride by myself a lot. This is what you're going to see. This is very important. This is my inReach satellite transmitter. Shows you where I'm at and what I'm doing. So, and it has the safety stuff built in. And you'll notice I do have some stuff for safety inside of this. I carry a hat because maybe I'm bald. And so a hat that crushes down nice and easy. The Klim thing comes with this nice terry cloth to wipe stuff. I carry a marking pen because a lot of times I'm marking suspension settings or whatever. Maybe I need to write a note about something, so I have that. So that's what's in my upper thing. This packet, it's designed for glasses or goggles. Sometimes I have glasses in here, and it gives a good view of the sun or the stars or the satellites for that antenna, which is kind of important. Now let's move into the main compartment. When we get inside of here, funny thing is there should be a bladder in here. I have it in there sometimes, and sometimes I take it out. Currently it's out. I'm kind of like a camel. I like to do my drinking before I do my riding, but I guarantee you someplace inside of here we're going to find water because here we go. So water, I do carry some water, mostly for the bike, in case it gets thirsty. I haven't cleaned this out for a while, and it was cold a little while back, but these are my windstopper gloves, and this is like a neck sock that I put in there, and it can also be used as a hat if I don't want to burn my skull, or it can keep my neck warm or something like that. So that's kind of what's up in there. What do we have? So we have zip ties. Can't go wrong with some zip ties. This is GoPro, right? Yes, because we're always filming stuff, so I have my GoPro in there, and I don't like to carry it because it's work, but I have it with a charging cable in case I need that. And if we dig farther down, a small little lightweight watertight medical kit with just the usual stuff that's carried in there, mostly for doing a little stitchy or something, that kind of stuff. And inside of here, I have a lot of carabiners that are hung around on the thing. Let's see if I have anything else stuck in here. There should be more stuff. Emergency pump, little tiny guy. So in case I need to pump something up, that will actually pump up a pressure to do even the tubeless system. Another zip tie. And, here we go. These are probably some spare parts and little nuts and bolts and things. I'll go ahead and open this up. So I don't carry a whole lot of stuff because I'm riding so many different bikes, but yeah, that's I use cut up inner tubes as rubber bands, and so inside of there's just this assortment of nuts and bolts. Quick steel, I have some quick steel in here right now, and this is my battery. It's a capacitor, so if my battery goes dead or breaks for some reason, I can get my KTM started using a capacitor, and it'll still kickstart if it's one of the ones with the kickstarts. Another thing I carry a lot of times that I don't have in here now is one of those jump packs. So I don't think I have one in here. Oh, there's something sharp in there. Some stickers. There's some sand and a couple pieces of branch in there right now. So now you've seen those two compartments, and now we'll get into the, yeah, Jimmy, where's your tools? Here's another nut and bolt that fell out of that thing. So that's that. Here's another spare inner tube as a rubber band. We go into the kind of the easy access compartment, and here I have a flashlight, really good flashlight that I actually found out in the desert. My tool kit, and I'm going to get to this in a minute. I'll dissect that a little bit better. You know what that is? Mountain money. So that's in there. Oh, this is pretty important. This is actually a safety blanket, and in there is a sticker kit, in case I need to put stickers on something. And this is my medical info. So on this piece of paper is a copy of my driver's license, a copy of my medical insurance card, and contact information in case something goes wrong, which also kind of doubles with my road ID that I'm generally wearing. So in case of emergency, you can dive into that. You're not going to get my personal information here. I have some emergency to tune up water if it doesn't taste good. Let's see what else we got in here. Like I said, matches from a local establishment around here, a lighter, and I think that's it in that little slot. We have this here. Oh yeah, insect repellent. Want some insect repellent because you never know where the mosquitoes are at. I happen to have a KTM ECU, which was one of the things I was testing the last time I was riding. So that is in there. Some extra carabiners. They're really good for clips, church key. You can always pick those up at trade shows, things like that. Another tool, and these are little towels or sealed up towels, like basically rags. Inside this bag, I have some fuses and a KTM axle nut, so just in case. And I think that's it. Is there more stuff inside of here? Oh yeah, a little bit of rope. And I'm going to tell you what's missing out of this pack now that I've cleaned it mostly out is my toe strap. And it's like a tie down / toe strap. And I know why it's missing, because we used it recently and it didn't get put back. So that happens. This is kind of a in progress. There's a baggie in here that stores something, I guess. And then on the front pouches, usually I carry things like keys, which, yeah, imagine that, keys. And I've been looking for those. I hid them for myself. And in this one, we are going to find, yeah, gate opener. So just easy, convenient stuff that I kind of throw in there. So now this is completely empty. We're done with that, but I'm going to get into the tools here. And this is kind of interesting in what I have in this particular kit. So the tools, and this is where a lot of people are really curious, like what kind of tools do you carry? And depends on what I'm doing. For most short rides and stuff, I don't carry a whole lot, but this will get me through almost anything. This is an older KTM axle wrench that came out of one of the tool kits, and it has both the big giant, the 32 millimeter and the 27 millimeter, also a 17 and a 19. It's pretty beat up. I can also use this on this part here to actually spin the shock preload ring on certain bikes. So that's a kind of a dandy little tool there. This was given to me at a Honda Press Intro. It's a Motion Pro setup, but I've modified it. So inside of here, this is my sort of essentially my 1/4-inch drive. I have a 17. This is mostly for tuning high-speed shock adjustment with an adapter inside of it. I have the screwdriver flat, and those are both flats, interestingly. So we're going to find out why I have two of those right now, because I don't know. The 8 millimeter extension, and see the 8 millimeter will actually go on here and use that as part of the tool. And then of course I have the 10, the 12, and an additional 8 that I'll hook up to this. So that's sort of my 1/4-inch drive setup. And then inside of this is the MP tool, and we have a test on this. The MP tool is brilliant, and here's where I go in here, and I'm going to show you this stuff. I'm wondering why I have two of those, and not explainable. Although I think one of these got switched from one of these when we were probably, rebuilding splitting center cases. out on the trail. So inside of here, I have a 12 millimeter. There's a 10 millimeter on here. This will drive 3/8 and 1/4 inch ratchets. It works in conjunction with these two unique pieces. And if you want to know more about the MP tool, watch the video on that specifically. But 8 millimeter, 14 millimeter, 10 millimeter, 7/16, bottle opener, 12 millimeter, all different kinds of things. And then you can also 4 and 5 millimeter Allen, Phillips large and small screwdriver inside like that. If I need more leverage, I take it and I hook it like this. So I can get away with a lot in these two tools, get to almost anything on the motorcycle. Then, of course, this is just a Leatherman tool. It's actually a off-brand Leatherman tool, and it served me well. It hasn't fallen apart yet, which they tend to do over time. But this has knives, bottle openers, small saws, screwdriver. So with this, I can do most anything I need to do on the motorcycle. Cut wires, strip wires, twist, bend, pull things, stuff like that. So that's my toolkit. And there you have a tour through what I carried the last time I ride, what I'll probably carry the next time I ride, and then stuff kind of comes and goes in and out based on the season. And so based on the season, you know, I may put a jacket in here, strap a jacket on this. Depending on the bike, I may carry different things, like not carry an ECU, or maybe I don't need to film, so that's that. So it's always kind of a flow, but the basic tools and some of the medical stuff and the little things stay in there all the time. It's lightweight enough, it's agile enough, and it gets the job done for me.